Hey guys, you asked for it. I was ready to move on, but y'all made it very clear we are not done with the boomers yet. But before we even get into today's episode, I have to take a moment to say thank you to you all. When I put out part one of the boomer conversation, I had no idea it was going to take off the way it did. Remember, that was my third episode of this podcast. That episode got over 2,000 views, and y'all made it very clear you wanted more. You wanted a part two. You wanted to go deeper, and I hear you. So first and foremost, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to everyone who liked, shared, subscribed, commented, and spread the word. Because your engagement lets me know that these conversations are resonating and that they're necessary and they are making an impact. And as you all know, everything I do here is intuitively led. This isn't just content. This is real. This is me. It's from my heart and it's meant to help. It's not here just to talk. I'm here to challenge, to heal, and to push us all toward better. So as long as y'all keep showing up, I'll keep bringing the heat. Now, let's get into this. Last time we pulled back the curtain, but today we're ripping it off completely. We're talking about how boomer mothers strip their daughters of their divine femininity, forcing them into roles of survival, strength, and struggle while letting their sons remain coddled, entitled, and emotionally stunted. We're talking about the imbalance this has created between men and women today. Why so many women are doing the work and evolving, while the men are stuck in a cycle of arrested development because their mothers told them just existing was enough. I'm Key, aka leader of the new school, certified truth teller and cultural disruptor. This is It Needs to Be Said, where we rip the band-aid off and get real about the stuff nobody wants to talk about. And today we're exposing how boomer mothers rob their daughters of their softness, set their sons up to fail, and set up a generational imbalance that is long overdue for correction. So let's get into it. Boomer mothers, melanated ones specifically, didn't allow their daughters to exist in their natural femininity. Instead, they taught us that softness was weak. See, we weren't raised to bask in our divine femininity. We were trained to be workers, providers, and emotional caretakers for everybody. Everybody else but ourselves, actually. We were the Cinderellas in our homes, expected to cook, clean, carry responsibilities that were never placed on our brothers. Or the men that were in the house either. See, the whole be strong, don't depend on no man mindset wasn't empowerment. It was a defense mechanism based on their own traumas. See, some of these mothers were jealous of their daughters. They were jealous of their daughters' beauty, youth, and opportunities and projected their own regrets onto them. And as adults, we're now relearning everything. How to date, how to interact with men, how to speak, how to allow our femininity to flow instead of suppressing it. Because femininity is not a curse. It's not a weakness. It shouldn't be a trigger. It's who we are. And it's actually a power. But the pressure to be strong didn't just stay at home. It followed us into every part of our lives. You see, boomer mothers shoved that strong black woman rhetoric down our throats like it was the gospel. They wore it like a badge of honor. I did everything by myself. I don't need nobody. I worked hard. You better not be out here depending on no one. And guess what that did? All it did was ruin us and create these hyper independent women. Because it wasn't empowerment. It was their trauma that they were projecting onto us. That was their trauma response. They didn't choose to be strong. They had no choice. And instead of breaking that cycle, they passed it down. Instead of teaching us how to receive love and support, they trained us to reject it. Instead of allowing us to be soft, they turned us into mules. So busy proving we can handle everything that we forget we shouldn't have to. And this showed up in all areas of our lives, including the workplace. See, us in the workplace, we get overworked, underpaid because we're seen as strong enough to handle it. We can't show emotions. If we do, we're angry. If we speak up, we're aggressive. If we set boundaries, we have an attitude. Meanwhile, our counterpart cries at work and she gets a day off, a promotion, and a Starbucks gift card. It's a trap, y'all, and we're done playing into it. Now we have a whole generation of women, hyper-independent women to be exact, that has to unlearn everything that they've been taught by their mothers because it was all wrong. We're finally understanding that being strong shouldn't mean being exhausted, unloved, and unsupported. And let's be honest, This wasn't something society just placed on us. This belief system was drilled into us from childhood. Before the workplace labeled us the aggressive black woman, before the world expected us to carry everything without complaint, our own mothers were the first ones to push this narrative. Because too many daughters grew up with mothers who were their first and biggest critics and their first bullies. The passive aggressive digs, the body shaming, the you think you grown energy and crushed confidence. If you were too feminine, you were shamed. If you like makeup, like doing your hair, if you carry yourself with confidence, your mother was there to knock it down. Was that guilt? Was it their fear? Or was it their ego? Were they trying to protect us? Or were they just resentful that we had the freedom they never did? I don't have the answer to that. I would love to have a boomer up here and converse with them so they can explain what was going on during their time, because I really don't know. All I know is what I saw, what I was able to observe, and that it was incorrect. So for many of us, the competition, the emotional neglect, and the belief that if the mom had to struggle, you should too, we experienced that. This wasn't just about words though. It was about how we were treated. Some boomer mothers didn't just withhold love. They actively punished their daughters for simply being young, vulnerable, and human. I will never forget witnessing a moment that truly showed how deep this dysfunction ran. I watched a black boomer mother, physically punish her 8th grade daughter for something completely natural, getting her period. And instead of comforting her and teaching her or reassuring her, she humiliated her and attacked her. The girl came home from school and had an accident on her uniform skirt. She was so terrified of her mother's reaction that she ran into the bathroom in a panic, desperately trying to clean herself up before her mom discovered. But she didn't make it in time. Her mother burst into the bathroom, yoked her up, and hit her upside the head, screaming, "You so damn stupid, you don't even know when your own body is bleeding." And I'm really scaling it down. She didn't even use the word body. She used the P word for vagina. But the impact of this, as I watched this person evolve over the years, this person is Gen X. As I watched her evolve over the years, I was able to observe the impact. And some may say you can't say that it's directly correlated, but I was there from the beginning. And I'm intuitive enough to say that it is directly correlated to this incident. That woman never had children. She never even wanted to be a mother. Why? Because her womb is broken. Her womb, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, was damaged beyond repair. How can you be faulted and beat for something that happens to you naturally as a woman? That really should be celebrated. Can you imagine the kind of trauma it takes to completely shut down the desire to bring life into this world? To feel so disconnected from your own femininity that motherhood is no longer even an option for you. This is what these boomer mothers did to their daughters. And what makes it even worse, this level of harshness was never equally applied. While daughters were being criticized, overworked, and hardened, the sons were being worshipped. While daughters were being turned into warriors, their sons were being turned into little kings. You see, boomer mothers didn't raise men. They raised boys who never had to grow up. Emotional intelligence, rarely taught. Accountability, barely required. Life skills, optional. Some of these mothers blurred the lines, turning their sons into their emotional partners while their daughters were expected to care for themselves. And now, we have an entire generation of men who think simply existing is enough. And that brings us to the real problem. What happens when these unprepared, emotionally stunted men enter the dating world? The answer? Disaster. Because women are doing the work, y'all. We're healing, we're growing, we're going to therapy, we're learning to embrace our divine femininity. Meanwhile, men raised to believe they don't have to do anything are stuck in their ways. Gen X men especially. They are stubborn, stagnant, unwilling to unlearn what their boomer parents taught them. And they give us the classic excuse. Oh, I've been like this surviving for 40 years. Okay, but you've been wrong for 40 years. You could have a much better life if you just put in some effort into yourself. You see, high value, evolved women have no options. The men at their level, the black men at their level, are scarce because most of them never did the work. And here's the reality. Women are starting to expand their dating options. If our melanated male dating pool refuses to evolve, are our black women supposed to stay limited to it? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about that. But let's take this a step further, because this cycle isn't just affecting romantic relationships. It's showing up in the next generation as well. You see, let's talk about the boomer grandparents. They coddle their grandsons the way they coddled their sons. They push responsibility onto their granddaughters the way they did their daughters. And a grandson can stay home indefinitely, contribute nothing, and be praised. A granddaughter, she's expected to work, pay bills, and be responsible from the moment she turns 18. They are the last line of defense keeping the outdated ideas alive. And if we don't stop them, respectfully, they will pass it down to the next generation. And that's exactly why we have to make a conscious decision to break this cycle. Because if we don't, y'all, we'll continue seeing generation after generation of women overworked and undervalued while men remain emotionally and mentally stagnant. So how do we move forward? How do we ensure the next generation doesn't inherit this imbalance? First, let's be clear. This cycle does not end on its own. If we don't actively break it, it will continue generation after generation. So for women, you do not have to be strong all the time. You deserve softness. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be protected. You deserve to be supported without having to prove your worth first. That's automatic. You deserve to take a day off. You deserve to take a month off. You deserve to take a spa day. You deserve to go and get facials. You deserve to shower yourself in self-love. We have to raise our daughters to know they are worthy of softness, rest, and protection. Not after they've earned it. Not after they've been through enough from the beginning. We have to raise our sons to be accountable, responsible, and emotionally intelligent young men. Teach them to be partners, not burdens. Stop glorifying that struggle love BS as a badge of honor. Strength should not come at the expense of peace, joy, or femininity. Set boundaries. Set respectful boundaries with boomer parents and grandparents. Just because they raised us doesn't mean their way was right. We already know it was wrong. We already know that. You are allowed to parent differently. And for the women doing the work, you don't have to wait for men to catch up. Go where you are valued, wherever that may be. For men, it's time to step up. The world doesn't owe you just for existing. Do the work, y'all. Grow up. Please, grow up, y'all. Evolve. I'm begging y'all. Grow up and evolve. Level up to the women and level up, y'all. level up. Stop expecting women to fix what your mother broke. Okay? Stop blaming your mom. At this point, at this age, it's your choice now, and you have to start fixing it yourself. Yeah, she failed you, but you're grown now. Go to therapy. No, for real, therapy, y'all. Y'all need therapy. Go to therapy. We're all going to therapy. Go to therapy. Unpack why you think just existing is enough. Learn how to carry emotional weight. Women are tired of doing all the work. Stop looking for a mother. Women are partners, not maids, not therapists, not rehab centers, not nurses, not everything else. We're partners. Get your money right, get your mind right, get your spirit right. Because women are evolving, and if you don't catch up, you will get left behind. Small note to the boomers. Therapy welcomes you as well. Find a therapist, a boomer therapist that can relate to you, and try it out. You may like it. You may learn something. This one was heavy, y'all, but it had to be said. It needed to be said because too many of us are still unraveling the damage of boomer conditioning, learning how to live beyond survival, learning how to embrace softness without guilt. Too many of us are healing from mothers who broke us while trying to love men who were never taught how to love us back. Too many of us are fighting to break generational curses while others sit comfortably in their dysfunction, refusing to evolve. But here's the truth. Growth is not optional. It's the price of freedom. So ask yourself, Are you still operating in survival mode because of how you were raised? And for the men, are you truly growing, or are you just expecting women to do the work for you? This is It Needs to Be Said, and I'm Key, aka leader of the new school. If this made you uncomfortable, good. That means you're evolving. Stay bold, stay unapologetic, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.